Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to Operation Freedom Briefings. The goal of these briefings and my weekly radio show, Operation Freedom, is to provide you information the bought-off, lamestream, fake media will not touch. You can join us every Sunday. It's free and it's live. Every Sunday, 2 to 5 Eastern, go to davejanda.com, hit the upper right-hand corner of the Listen Live button, and you're with us for 3 hours of great guests and I think excellent analysis. Information and analysis you're not going to get from the bought-off, lamestream, fake media. In addition, we have a tremendous amount of free and public content at davejanda.com, which we upload on a very regular basis. And then we have our subscription service, 30 cents a day, $9 a month. You can sign up for a month and get rid of it. Not sure why you would, because the information we provide and the guests we bring in, you're not going to get from other sources. davejanda.com, free side, public side, and then the subscription side, we're there for you 24/7. Today I want to focus on what's been happening the past week. As I outlined in our last video, this was a very important week, as is this week. There's a lot happening. Now, many people are going to say, I don't see anybody in handcuffs or an orange jumpsuit. Nothing's happening. I completely disagree. There's a tremendous amount happening, and some of it is starting to actually seep from beneath that curtain for public consumption. Not that the bought-off, lamestream, fake media is going to report it. First of all, on December 3rd, Jerry Corsi, with his attorney, Larry Klayman, who's big time, courageous. Klayman's the real deal. They filed a suit against the Mueller team for a collusion to commit treason. In other words, Jerry Corsi said he was brought in front of the Mueller group, and one of the prosecutors in Mueller's group said, essentially, you tell us what we want to hear about Trump. You lie to us, and everything's okay. But if you don't tell us what we want to hear, you're going to go to jail. I mean, that's like something out of the Stasi, out of East Germany, out of the Soviet Union at its height. Yeah, it's sick. The deep state took some other hits this week. Comey was scheduled to testify on December 3rd, Monday, December 3rd. And his testimony was canceled. And many people said, oh, it's never going to happen. This is the deal. Oh, it's just almost more things are going to happen, not going to happen. Wrong. He testified on the 7th. And I'm not going to go into great detail on it, but there are a couple important points for you to know. He had Justice Department attorneys next to him. And reportedly from folks that I have firsthand knowledge with, they said that on many questions, the attorneys told him, you're not answering that. Not sure why. It was a closed meeting. You could talk about classified information, just be redacted from the transcript. But when he was asked other questions, and it's been reported that he said, I don't recall 8 times, I don't remember 71 times, and I don't know 166 times, for a grand total of 245 times he didn't answer the question. But there are several things that came out, and we've got to thank Paul Sperry for getting this information out. Comey testified the FBI could not independently corroborate the Russian, quote, source information, end quote, the fake Russian dossier, in the Steele dossier before using it to swear out a FISA wiretap on Carter Page. And they still couldn't corroborate Steele's sources, quote, by the time I left the FBI in May of 2017, end quote. So in other words, they knowingly used a fraudulent document they could not corroborate in front of a FISA court. That's big news. Yeah, I know. Whoopi and Joy Behar didn't talk about it. Rachel Maddow didn't talk about it. Anderson Cooper didn't talk about it. Morning Joe or Mika didn't talk about it. Of course not. Because this blows apart that whole narrative. Comey claims he doesn't remember his general counsel, James Baker, this is at the FBI, ever telling him that a lawyer from the same D.C. firm retained by the Clinton campaign to commission the dossier, remember, Hillary Clinton's campaign and the DNC paid for that fake Russian dossier, okay? He doesn't remember that Baker came to him in the summer of 2016 and gave him a thumb drive full of dirt on Trump and Russia. Oh, okay. Question: did you think the particulars of the Clinton campaign funding the Steele dossier used to support the Carter-Page FISA were important to the FISA court? You would think, right? Tainted piece of evidence? Comey said no. No. What? And then he went on, no, I wouldn't think so. It actually doesn't even seem important to me now. Okay, well, two options, A or B, no C. A, he's a liar. B, because it is important. Or B, he's a sociopath. And he has no regard for the rule of law. And my goodness, doesn't it just make your heart feel warm that the former director of the FBI is oblivious to the law? And he said he didn't know that Christopher Steele was passing information to Bruce Orr in Obama's Justice Department, who was then giving it to the FBI. But it got worse for Comey because Comey's general counsel at the FBI, James Baker, who we spoke about before, testified privately that he originally believed it was appropriate to charge Hillary Clinton with mishandling classified information, but he said it was Comey who persuaded him, Baker, the general counsel, that Clinton should not be charged. Comey's got a whole lot of trouble. And by the way, he's scheduled to make another appearance. This was so bad, what happened, they said, guess what, buddy, you're coming back. And he's coming back on December 17th. So those folks that say nothing's happening, sorry. Now let's look at General Flynn, who I believe is a patriot, an innocent man, and I believe when all this sifts through will be one of the two people that people will identify as laying their lives on the line to save our country when it came to this attempted coup, this unconstitutional act perpetrated by the deep state. One person that will come to the forefront, I believe, is Admiral Mike Rogers, who was the director of the National Security Agency under Obama, who went to Trump Tower and informed Trump he was illegally being surveilled, and this is President-elect Trump. And at that same day, President-elect Trump moved his operations from the Trump Tower to one of his golf clubs in New Jersey in Bedminster. The second person, I believe, is General Flynn, who will be seen as a hero. And the reason is because he threw his reputation and his life on the line to, I believe, expose and uncover the deep state and their attempted coup of a duly elected president. Now, on the 4th of December, General Flynn's sentencing memo was released by Mueller, actually hand-signed by Mueller. Many people said, oh, this is going to show treason. Actually, it did not. Not in the least. In fact, Mueller recommended no jail time for General Flynn. Let me tell you something. If General Flynn was involved in collusion with the Russians, that's treason, and he would have been sent to the slammer for decades, for the remainder of his life. Mueller recommended zero. Zero. Nada. Nothing. Why? Because there was zero, nada, nothing of Russian collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. But you want collusion? The memo highlighted there was some collusion. Oh, yeah. But not like Morning Joe and Mika and Anderson Cooper and Maddow and Whoopi and Behar and NBC, ABC, CBS, all of them, not the collusion they wanted. This comes to us from Joe Pollack from Breitbart. Michael Flynn's sentencing document shows collusion. Between the media, the deep state, and who? The Obama administration. That's right. It showed, this sentencing memo, there was illegal surveillance by the deep state. The Obama administration, which illegally was involved in this, not only were illegal on that standpoint, but they then unmasked the individuals, Flynn in this case, then leaked the information to the media, the Washington Post, another illegal act. The Washington Post illegally published classified information. And then the FBI used that illegal information that was obtained and then used that in the prosecution of Flynn. And in the process of prosecuting General Flynn, it appears that McCabe and Strzok altered the forms, the 302 forms that were used when they interviewed General Flynn on this information that was published in the Washington Post that came from the Obama administration. Collusion. Media, deep state, Obama administration. Now, many people are saying, oh, but there was these redacted parts about ongoing criminal investigations. Oh, that's bad for Trump. No, actually, it's not. Because the part that was about the Russian collusion investigation as it related to the Trump campaign, which they found nothing, was not redacted. But the part that was redacted about the ongoing criminal investigation, which obviously wasn't related to the Trump-Russia collusion investigation because that was right there in black and white. What could that have been? Some people say, well, it's about General Flynn's working with Turkey and not signing up as a foreign agent. Possibly that's one part. But investigations, plural. You think maybe it was about how McCabe, along with Strzok, illegally changed the 302 forms? Maybe General Flynn actually had taped his interview, and Strzok, who was interviewing him along with Plantenka from the FBI, maybe they didn't know he was being interviewed. And supposedly, General Flynn was taken off guard. These guys just walked in his office January 24th, 2017 and interviewed him, and he had no idea. Let me tell you something. General Flynn is a brilliant man. You don't get to be director of the Defense Intelligence Agency by being a sap. General Flynn was 10 steps ahead, and he knew exactly what was happening. And he threw himself on the fire to save our country. By pleading guilty to that one charge, a charge that emanated because the forms were changed, it led to him being able to go in front of prosecutors and saying, look, you know what? You want to talk to me 19 times? Great, but here's the deal. I worked for President Trump for 24 days before I was gone. But I worked for the Obama administration for years. You want to talk illegality? I'll give you illegality. Here's what was happening during the Obama administration. And that is what has the deep state panicked. In addition, oh, I know, nothing's happening. Right. Let's turn to Hillary. Nothing happening. December 4th. Did Rachel Maddow talk about this? Not so much. Huge Clinton donor indicted for defrauding U.S. to win $8 billion Pentagon contract. 3 men, including a top donor to former President William J. Clinton and twice-failed presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, also donated to Barack Obama, by the way, were indicted for defrauding the United States in order to win a huge Pentagon contract. A guy by the name of Faruqi, he actually, in addition, donated to the Clinton Foundation. Oh, and was a member of the Clinton Global Initiative. Nothing's happening. And then let's add to that, on December 6th. Quote, I know where all the bodies are buried, end quote. Clinton Foundation chief financial officer spills the beans to investigators. The CFO of the Clinton Foundation, this is from John Holloman from The Hill, thinking he was, quote, meeting an old professional acquaintance, admitted to investigators that the charity, the Clinton Foundation, had widespread problems with governance, accounting, and conflicts of interest, and that Bill Clinton has been commingling business and personal expenses for a long time. John Solomon from The Hill. Now, I've said for a long time, it's whistleblowers. For years I've said, it's whistleblowers from all these government agencies that are going to take down the deep state. And that's exactly what happened. This came through a whistleblower. And remember, we talked about that whistleblower last week, who had already turned over information on the Clinton Foundation Uranium One to the Department of Justice Inspector General Michael Horowitz and to several other congressional committees. He was a guy who had his door kicked in. Whistleblowers abound. They've come in from the cold. This again from John Solomon. Feds received whistleblower evidence when in 2017 alleging Clinton Foundation wrongdoing. But wait a minute, nothing's happening. I don't see anything. Look, just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. The Clinton Foundation is at the center of 6,000 pages of evidence attached to a whistleblower submission filed secretly more than a year ago with the IRS and FBI. That evidence was assembled by a private firm called MDA Analytics, run by accomplished ex-federal criminal investigators who allege the Clinton Foundation, these are the criminal investigators, they allege that the Clinton Foundation engaged in illegal activities and may be liable for millions of dollars in delinquent taxes and penalties. In addition to the IRS, the firm's partners have had contact with prosecutors in the Maine Justice Department in Washington and FBI agents in Little Rock, Arkansas. And Huber, the guy who now is going to testify on the 13th in front of Congress. He's going to testify about the Clinton Foundation as well as other activities of the Clintons. I know he was scheduled to testify on the 5th. Nothing happened because of the Bush funeral or the requiem. Look, that was not just a funeral for an former president who happened to be a globalist. That was a funeral for the deep state. That was a requiem for globalism. Remember that. The 48-page submission supports the claims with 95 exhibits, including internal legal reviews between 2008 and 2011. The submission also cites an interview its investigators conducted with Andrew Kessel that quotes the foundation's longtime chief financial officer as saying he was unable to stop President Clinton from, quote, commingling personal business and charitable activities inside the foundation, and that he knows where all the bodies are buried, end quote. Quote, there is probable cause that the Clinton Foundation has run afoul of IRS rules regarding tax-exempt charitable organizations and has acted inconsistently with its stated purposes, end quote, the MDA Analytics alleged in its submission. Quote, the foundation should be investigated for all the above mentioned improprieties. The tax rules, codes, statutes, and the rule of law should and must be applied in this case. And if that's not enough, oh, I know nothing's happening. Double whammy. Judge orders Clinton email inquiry reopened. What? Nothing's happening. Right. District Judge Royce Lambert, who has made some other big decisions on the freedom side. Royce Lambert, he must be getting huge heat from the deep state, blasted the Obama administration, state and Justice Department for falling short and making things worse in the Clinton email scandal and has ordered an inquiry reopened. Royce Lambert ordered the Justice and State Departments to reopen an inquiry into whether Hillary Clinton used a private email server while Secretary of State to, quote, judge's words, quote, to deliberately evade public records laws and to answer whether the agencies acted in bad faith by not telling a court for months that they had asked in mid-2014 for missing emails to be returned. In a 10-page opinion, Lambert blasted the department saying, quote, faced with one of the gravest modern offenses of government openness, the Obama administration, remember, they were so transparent according to Obama, state and justice departments fell far short of the law, end quote. Look, there's a lot happening. Have we seen high-profile individuals in orange jumpsuits and handcuffs? No. Will we? Yes, I believe we will. When? I don't have the time schedule. No one does. This is all unfolding. And it's unfolding, I believe, to the detriment of the deep state. I hope you'll join us at davejanda.com. On our public side and our subscription side, we provide information you're not going to get from other sources. I hope you'll join us for our Sunday radio show. You can stream it live free, davejanda.com, every Sunday, 2 to 5 Eastern. A couple other housekeeping pieces of information. This YouTube channel, Operation Freedom, is the only YouTube channel I provide original content. There are two other channels, a Dr. Dave Janda 2 channel that I have nothing to do with. They've stolen my name. I have petitioned YouTube about taking it down and nothing's happened. Shock, shock. In addition, there's a channel called The Truth that's taking a number of the interviews I've done with Greg Hunter on Greg's platform, usawatchdog.com, and some of my work here and uploaded it on that channel. And then there's music playing and other stuff. Please don't email me. I have nothing to do with that channel. Never have, never will. We've also petitioned YouTube to take it down because they're stealing our original content. You want the original information, Operation Freedom channel here on YouTube. Also, the other source of original content that I produce, DaveJanda.com. That's it. Until next time, this is Dave Janda signing off. Dream big, dare to fail. Thanks for your time and thanks for your support.